Productivity principle number 4 is habit is destiny. Habit is destiny. There are a lot of different sayings about this. I heard one, I don't remember where this one came from, but is first you shape your habits and then they shape you. If you do something habitually for a little while, all of a sudden you'll get into the flow and you won't be able to change it. Through a lot of different studies and a lot of different research, I've now come to believe that we have what you could almost think of as freeways that we create in our three brains and in our bodies. And you might think of these as your physical freeways or roadways, your emotional freeways or roadways, and your mental or your logical freeways or roadways. And they've even discovered that in the brain there's a process called myelination, where when you think a thought, and you think that thought over and over, and you think it, you keep going, that it lays this stuff called myelin that's literally like putting pavement over a road. And it builds up that neural connection so that it becomes easier and more natural to think that thought. So the more you think it, the more you think it. In terms of emotions, okay, we've got these little globules of emotion that are inside of cells all over, and they're sticking off these little kind of like little reactor sites where when the system says release, all over the body it releases these chemicals into us. My mentor Jerry Ballinger used to say that emotions are the most powerful and addictive chemicals in existence. Emotions. And what we find is that if we get emotions triggered by a certain thing, they get triggered over and over, it paves that path so it becomes quicker and more instantaneous to be triggered in those emotions. And same thing with our bodies. We have what's called muscle memory. If you go through a movement enough times over and over and over, it's like just paving a road, and it becomes natural and you just do that thing. If you sit with poor posture over and over and over, eventually that's what happens. You can't not sit with poor posture. In fact, I've had poor posture for so many years of my life that I have to be conscious of it a lot more than someone who naturally has good posture, and I have to work on it. And I find myself all the time, slumped over doing something. I realize, I'm just unconscious. That's something that's come from years past in my life, and I have to sit up, tuck in the tummy, roll the shoulders back, and be conscious of my posture. Well, if you will open your mind to this idea, right, that we have these three brains and that habit is destiny, you'll start to notice that most of what you do is the exact same thing over and over and over, physically, logically, emotionally, and that you've paved these routes and these have now become your habits. And so we're going to go to work on the habit level, and we're going to try to make the things that you do that you need to do to be productive into routines, into habits, into processes that you do regularly. And I'm going to introduce you to some very powerful concepts to do that. But for now, we need to understand that principle number 4 is habit is destiny.